Well, we all screw up, don't we? This screw up. Well, we all screw up, don't we? Well, this screw up is really hurting 5 million people. There's 5 million people out there, they estimate, that need grants to pay back rent. And there's facing eviction. And there's like, oh gosh, like $20 billion or even more sitting at local governments to help these people, but they not getting it out to them. It's a national program, and by the way, I'm going to talk about the Biden. Well, actually, it's the national program that's run through the Treasury Department, and plus, if you don't get money from this program, there's other local programs. So yeah, it's a two-step process to check. But let's talk about this federal program first. Here's a headline in CNN. I think it was yesterday. Federal pandemic rental aid helped 2.5 billion households. This is grants. You get to pay past rent. And actually, they pay up to like 15 months of rent, and they pay utility bills and also moving expenses and also storage fees if you have to move, and money it costs to make applications for a new apartment, all this stuff, yeah, which is great stuff. But it's sitting at local governments. And it's a pity. It hurts my heart, and I'm sure they're working hard to get it, but something screwed up. And it's going to take work on your part if you're in this situation to beat on your elected officials. Let me give you some data here, and I'll put the link in the description so you have the link to this CNN article they have here. After one year after Congress first authorized the billions of dollars for rental assistance. So they authorized it over a year ago, this money. The money has helped 2.5 million renters stay in their homes. But there's still roughly 4.7 million, 4.7 million households behind in their rent across the country. Last December, here's the story of how it goes. The lawmakers proposed $25 billion in emergency rental assistance. That's the name of the program. 25 emergency rental assistance last December. Okay, now in March, they approved another 22. So they actually almost doubled it. So December, they got 25 billion. March, they got another 22 billion to help people with rental assistance. The money is still making its way to struggling renters. So they've been working on this for a year, right? And it still can't get down to the people who need it. Okay, now they hope, okay, this is a hope, that of the first 25 billion, that 80% of that will be out the door and given to people. So that's 80% of 25 billion. So that's, almost 20 billion, 17 billion, something like that. And there's still another 22 billion. So you got another 25 billion they haven't. So that's only half the money they hope to have out by the end of the year. You hear that? Only half the money. Wow. The program has been a success in many communities, but the aid is extremely slow to getting out the door in others as new state and local programs are stood up to distribute the money. See, they gave the money to state and local programs, and they have to set up a system to give out the money. 15 states had paid less than 25% of the total money that they had to give out as of October. 15 states only gave out 20%. 15 states only gave out 20%. And they've had this for a year, and they've only given 20% of the money, according to the latest data. Okay, 4 of those states, here they are, maybe you're one of them: Georgia, South Carolina, Delaware, and Alabama. More than 20% of low-income renters are behind in their rent. Okay, so there's 20% of the people who are renting, who are lower income, are behind in their rent, according to the analysis. The data was the group estimated 4.7 million households nationwide were behind in their rent. Okay, we talked about that earlier. It's emblematic of the inequality of the pandemic and who is still suffering. Okay, so as this policy, people, that's a little political thing, but it's probably real, right? Households are eligible for the money if they experience financial hardship due to the pandemic, okay, and below a certain income, which is like 80% of median income. So like you're working you're almost at the median income and you're eligible for this, and demonstrate a risk of may be homeless, or you qualify for unemployment payment. And all the agencies have different requirements, so you got to check locally. The hundreds of programs that distribute the aid across the nation vary in how to determine whether a tenant is at risk, and what documents are required. Those that got money quicker were generally less restrictive, according to a research report. So that's why I see there's a restriction all the time somewhere, and some are easier than others. So what one person says about, oh, it's too hard to get, that may be true for them, but not for you. So don't listen to other people. Go out and get the real information. Some states needed to set up an entirely new program to distribute funds. Well, that's it. They didn't have a way to get the funds out. So they had to set up, they hired people, trained people, and everything. Alabama had to establish a new program from scratch. Now, we have a lot of members, I think, at Let's Go Help from Alabama, and I keep hearing, oh, nobody has money in Alabama. Well, they do. They just can't get the goddamn thing out of the door. And the way you do that is complain to your elected official. Call them all. Don't call just one and hope to get a call back. No, you get on that phone, man, and dialing for dollars. New program, which it did quickly and launched its statewide rental assistance program by March. So they had the money in December, finally didn't get it started in March. The early backlog was always kept our cumulative disbursements behind, so they haven't caught up since. South Carolina needed approval from the legislature. See, that's another thing. So they got the money from the government to hand it out, but now they had to go to another bunch of politicians to get their approval. It didn't launch until April, and the first payments were made in June. They had the money in December, maybe starting in June. Okay, we're getting more applications through the door, but we're still not seeing the level we expected. They know they got a lot more people in the state of South Carolina that need that money. And I got a lot of members in South Carolina too. You're in South Carolina, they have money for rental assistance. You're talking to the wrong person, and the person to really get on the on the warpath for you is your elected official. Now, they're all not good. They're all not bad. So that's why you have to call as many as you can. The state-rate programs made several changes since it first launched to make it easier to apply. So that's another clue. You're in South Carolina or anywhere, you applied before and you weren't eligible, apply again. They changed the rules. See, how would you know that? Nobody would. I wouldn't. It's loosened documentation requirements, started to provide funding directly to tenants if the landlord wasn't responding, doubled staff at the call center, and partnered, listen to this, with nearly 40 organizations that offer in-person help to applicants. Okay, so this is South Carolina. They're doing a lousy job, and they started to change. And also, they were denying a lot of people in the beginning, and then that started to change. So, you got to stay on top of this stuff. It's hard. I can't. It's hard for me. So, I'm sure. I spend all my day doing it. Many rental relief programs are now slow to start. We're able to accelerate their spending by summer. In June alone, they spent 2 times as many they spent in January through April. So in 1 month alone, they spent twice as much money getting out the door as they did in the first January, February, March, and first 4 months. Okay. It also helped Treasury relax the guidelines. See, the Treasury, that's what they did. They all these bureaucrats work with rules, and they have to follow the rules. And if they get screwed, if they don't, they go to jail or something. They feel, so they don't want to get caught. So that's why they're very careful. And then the Treasury relaxed those rules for the states to make it easier to give it out, so they don't have to follow these tight-ass rules. Most people know about the aid by now. There are billboards across the state, et cetera. Well, according to my people I see, I don't think most people know. Maybe that's that state. She said there's now a bottleneck of people waiting for their applications to be processed, but that more need exists. Okay, so there's more need out there. The recent statement posted by the Georgia Department of Community Affairs Commissioner said There is no data-driven rationale for the amount allocated to the state, suggesting that the percentage of funds spent is a poor indicator of effectiveness. It also said that the state has fewer applications for assistance, partly because of the low unemployment rate, and noted that Georgians pay low average rent and utility payments. Oh, they're just arguing why they're on a naughty list instead of nice list. Yet 28% of low-income renters are behind in their rent in October, a bigger percentage than any other state. See, now they're arguing, oh, they're doing a good job because people don't, that's low rent. Well, here's data that shows 28% of low-income renters are behind in their rent as of October. Now, that's just a couple months ago, right? A bigger percentage than any other state. So they have the highest percentage of people that can't pay the rent. And this lady or whoever it is saying, oh, no, we're doing well. We're fine. Thank you. like several other states across the country, some county level rental assistance programs in Georgia have more quickly distributed the money than the system run by the state. You hear that? That's what happened. Some programs are run by the county, some by the state. It's the same money coming from the federal. It goes down to the states, and then the states decide whether they have a central thing at the state to give out money or it'll go to the county and cities, and you don't know. Just realize it's screwed up. Earlier this month, the Treasury Department began to process shifting unused funds. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Some states didn't spend all their money. They're starting to give that extra money to states that need it. Okay. Local programs have seen success. Some programs at local level, like the one in Harris County, Texas. We have Mo, who's a researcher. She lives there and has been very good about this program. Had early success in reaching struggling renters. The county worked together with the city of Houston and given out most of their $300 million it received from Treasury, helping more than 67,000 families. The program already had funds out the door by the end of March. Wow, see? That's a superstar there. But that's just a county, one county. Two initiatives within the program made it unique. A robust navigator system utilized 9 local organizations across the county to spread the word about available aid and help people prepare their applications. You hear that? Navigators. Now, where else have we seen that? Okay, I'll tell you in a minute, but let me finish the sentence. It also enacted an eviction intervention effort, proactively reaching out to tenants with upcoming eviction cases and their landlords. Okay, but the navigator thing, it's very important. The government's trying to use a lot of that. They have it, navigators at healthcare.gov. There's navigators there. You get contact and they help you. These are free. They're paid for by the government. Healthcare.gov, unfortunately, has people that want to sell you something too, but you want the navigators that are paid for by the government, not somebody who works for an insurance company. So you have navigators there. The SBA now has navigators. They just started this month, and there's 50 of them around the country to help small businesses find government programs and help them with their small businesses. Navigators. They're sort of like SBA offices and everything, but these are special money, $100 billion or something like that. They're giving to these people to help you for free. So they're your consultants, your mentors for small business, and they're called community navigators. If you go to the SBA.gov and put in community navigators, find your local one. And I had an interview. I watched some of them around the country. Wonderful people. They're just there to help people start a business. They're not going to charge you a nickel and help you every step of the way. Okay. Now here, it helped, talking back to Houston here, it helped Houston resident Michael Mata stay in his apartment after losing his job as a machinist amid a round of pandemic-related layoffs. He said he received enough money to pay back his current rent in a month in advance. I tried to be one of those people who are composed, but it was stressing, but I was stressing out at the time. So I'm grateful. There may always be renters in need. Yeah, okay. That's not the issue. So how do you get this? Okay, first of all, there's a great website. Here it is, Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. And you want to go federal rental assistance. I'll put this link in along with the link to the CNN below. you see that. Okay. And this is great because it tells you all about the program, tells you what's available in it, and how to get money for moving to a new home, and pay for your internet services and moving expenses and security deposits, application fees, housing counseling, everything. And there's a listing here how to find your local. How do I apply for emergency rental assistance? So you tape there, and then how much help do I get? Everything is there. And also here, find rental assistance state by state. Okay, here's how you find out where in your state, your county, or whatever to apply. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing here you want to know, if you're worried about foreclosure, don't wait until you get a notice that you're being foreclosed. Act now. Go to foreclosure.org and then community resources. The link will be in the description. Call those lawyers. They're all free. They're in every state. And they'll help you know your rights and what to do and how to handle it. They'll know programs, other programs besides just this national program. Like this is for Colorado. Look at all the organizations in Colorado that will help you for free. So you you don't have to fight the big bad wolf at the door. No, that's all free legal help. And you're fighting a legal system, so you got to get legal help. You don't want to bring a pea shooter to a gunfight. No. You know your rights. And actually, when you talk to somebody like these people who know the rights, they'll ease your mind a lot because you understand the final outcome. What's the worst case and how long it's going to take and things like that. That'll make your mind restful, so you don't have to stay awake at night. Oh, they're going to lock my door in the morning or something. Okay. Also, 211. These two organizations, and findhelp.org, 211.org, findhelp.org. Okay, go to both of those sites, put in your zip code, and then put rent. You want rent assistance. Okay, now don't just look at the list. Call every person on that list. The only way to get help is that making a bunch of phone calls and doing the grunt work, beating up these people that ask for help. Be polite, be nice, and don't say I need money. Say you need help. Okay, so nice, polite, need help. Nice, polite, need help. Nice, polite, need help. Okay. And you go through the list. Some will be idiots. Some will yell at you because they're busy and cranky and the pandemic's going on and they can't get a testing kit and they're pissed. Okay, you go to the next one. It's a numbers game. You have to play the numbers. And if you're not playing the numbers will play you.
May the source be with you.